guy running with Latin. The guy run, my friend, but they're gonna catch him. You see that, my friend? They're gonna go get him. They're gonna go get him, my friend. Look.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining me on this YouTube Tuesday, where today we'll be talking about why mastering engineers are absolute gold in your arsenal. But before we jump into that, what I need you to do is to hit the subscribe, like, and notifications bell. And if you are really into the conversation, please do engage us through your comments. All right, now let's jump right into things. My first point is that you should select your mastering engineer based on genre and, of course, the sound. And you can easily do that by finding out, based on the records that you like, who mastered the record and why they did the things they did. A lot of mastering engineers would be more than happy to share with you the equipment they use and why they do certain techniques for certain genres. It's a piece that's worked for me quite nicely. Rather than asking one mastering engineer to be, the wizard of all things, it's better to go to mastering engineers, in my view, that align to your sound and bring out the best in the specific genre you're going for. The second tip here is to ask mastering engineers for feedback. These guys will give you feedback on your blind spots. So before I even knew anything about getting a professionally treated room in studio, I remember asking a particular mastering engineer for feedback on what frequencies in my mixes were giving them the most things to pay attention to. And this guy was basically brutally honest with me and said, man, you really have to observe your room, because the mixes I was handing to him at the time were in so much variation that one mix would have problems in the highs, another mix would have problems in the lows. And he said, I believe the issue is with the room and you needing to treat it. So here we are, fast forward a few years. I haven't had any mastering engineer come back to me with excessive feedback on things that I needed to improve in their view. And a lot of people, tend to get wrapped up in believing that their mixes are perfect. And the reality is that even with a treated room like this, you will have blind spots where you need to improve. And it doesn't hurt to ask, because that information is free and it provides you value in the long term. Tip number 3 is to stay away from cookie cutter mastering engineers. And what I mean by that is when you submit a pre-master and you get an immediate turnaround of your project, I would ask the question, well, what sort of equipment are you using? And, compliment them for them turning it around so quickly. But if they tell you all they're using is ozone and there's nothing else in their arsenal to achieve the sound that they're getting for your master, I would just raise a flag of caution to that. Meaning that they might be using typical templates on every project, or they might even have a template for you based on, the last 3 things that you submitted to them to help them along. And really, having that type of approach just tells you that they're not putting enough care and intense thought into each project you give them to make the right decisions when it comes to producing your final master. So I'd watch out for that. And as I said, you can avoid that by asking what type of equipment they use, and just ask the question and compliment them for quick turnarounds. I'm not saying all mastering engineers who provide a great turnaround and who have a very strong work ethic are doing cookie cutter things. I'm just saying you, as the owner of your project and sound, need to ask these questions to vet whether or not what you're getting is making the absolute amount of sense in terms of how mastering engineers get there. And there you have it. Thanks for joining me today. Let me know what your thoughts are on mastering engineers being gold in your arsenal. I'd be interested in hearing your feedback. If you haven't done so already, please do hit the subscribe button below and check out my other 2 videos over here. And don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't smashed it yet. Peace.